So, Dubi, you asked a question yesterday at Chaim would tell me. What was the question? I don't know exactly the question. The answer, I'll tell you.
The question that I asked Chaim,
Yeah.
that how is it possible to say that the outcome, the shirish of the outcome is greater than the shirish of the source? If everything starts from Achshava Atzmis and Isarusa de Leilo, and the outcome of it is a person, a human being, does avoida, and the outcome of this avoida is from a greater shirish than the source, which is from Achshava Atzmis Chafetz Chesed.
No, Chafetz Chesed is first of all not the Sherish Atzmi. That's the process of creation.
Not Chafetz Chesed, Machshava Atzmis.
Yes, the Machshava Atzmi. So the Nakuda is, what he's saying is, what comes down to the end is that the avoida itself is not the tachlis. The tachlis is, I want a connection to you. Where does the yid start? The yid starts in Chelik Alakam Yimal Mamish, in the Machshava Atzmis. So that's what he's saying, that's the vot of the Maibet, that Isha Kisazri Atchila, that what is the ultimate timing the Eibishter has is to reveal that level where we are one. That's higher than Avodah unlocks that. But that's higher than the Avodah itself. It's
right.
High,
It's a chapter that it's higher than this. He says that it's, I forget the words that the Maimer says, but it says that this is Nala B'Yosef, like it's a higher level than it came from originally, meaning originally we were one with Hashem.
Originally, higher, no, when he says it's higher, he's saying it's higher than the Chavitz Chesed, it's higher than the Tzarusa de Le'ela, all of the processes that led to this at the end. Tzarusa de Le'ela, Isha Mazi Atchila, this is a revelation of the course that's higher than Oilamus. That's higher than Oilamus, but that's Oilam Saf Ablikable. All's fine and good. But what comes out in the end is that all of this is to unlock what? That a Yid and the Eibishter are one. And where does that start? In Machshava Atzmis. That's where he's saying it's higher. It's higher than all of the Hamshoches till this point. To map it out, it starts like this. Creation, okay, it starts with that Eibishter's Machshava Atzmis, that Eden and I are one, and you touch me on the essential level because you're one with me. That is concealed, period. It only comes out at the end of Golas. What's the process? The process is, first of all, Chafetz Chesed, Asirusa de Le'ela. So the observer of creation, like what's going on. So the Kabbalah says, the Eibishter is wonderful, and he's bestowing kindness, benevolence upon his creation, undeserved completely. That's how it starts. It's not Avodah. You're born, you didn't do anything. It's a pure act of chesed. So that's the first, like, overt, conscious. I mean, that is in Atzmos, because in Atzmos it's not revealed. What is revealed, what's going on in Atzmos is not revealed till the end, and only we unlock it. What we see is the Giluyim. What Torah maps out of the Giluyim. Gilui number one, Chafetz Chesed. And then comes our Avodah. It's a limited Avodah. The Chafetz Chesed is makif, it's believable because, relatively speaking, you don't deserve it. I'm giving it to you. So that's beyond limits. Then comes our Avodah, and that's Mamshech, Amshacha Pnimius, Asusa Latata, which elicits the Sarusa de Le'ela, which is limited because it's based on Avodah, but it's a Pnimius connection. And then there's a third Sarusa de Le'ela. What that Avodah that I did, that is mamshich, overtly only connects only to Eilamis because it's part of my world. So it is in the words that we said, connecting to the Creator and serving the Creator, that is mamshich, a third level. And what's that third Sarusa de Le'ela? That third Sarusa de Le'ela is because of you. Because you revealed your connection with you, everything you did. You revealed how we are one, and that was the Machshava Atzmis all along. That's the Amshach at the end of Atzmus. So Isha Kisazri Atchila, what he's bringing out is, it's not that what we did causes reactions. It's who we are. That's the chiddush of Isha Kisaziyat Chila. That who you are is the deepest connection. What unlocks your deepest connection? It's all the avodah that we do, much more avodah that's mentioned Mesiras Nefesh and the source of the Tata on all of its levels. That's what he's saying. So the Taichna Isha Kisaziyat Chila is not the avodah component. It will lead to. Certainly, according to the Piddush of the philosophy, it's avada that's a means to an end. You do Yaveda, so this is a keli for this with the Le'elim. But even the like the Alter Rebbe's Piddush, that was revealing the depth of it, that it's not what your Aveda leads to. It's the Maila of Aveda Satachten per se. Does that mean the Rebbe says the Maila of Aveda Satachten? It's the Maila of you. That's the Maila of Aveda Satachten, that it's you. So in summary, it means that the whole Aveda that we do, what does it do? It unlocks the essential connection that we have with Hashem, the Machshava Atzmis that was never revealed. As we say always, Torah doesn't make us Jewish, it expresses our Jewishness. In the end, Torah and mitzvahs and everything don't make us into anything. It's not about getting anywhere. It's about unlocking who you are at your core. You're one with God. That's the Machshava Atzmis, which is Behelem and higher than Gilui, and only comes out at the end. Chassidus is Megalit. It's a huge revolution. Again, God says, I don't want or need tefillin. All I want is you to put on tefillin. I don't need Shabbos. I don't need anything. It means nothing to me. You keep Shabbos, it's everything. Then Shabbos becomes everything. Tefillin is everything, and matzah, and everything you do becomes everything because it's expression of how we are one. That's the Nakud of the mind. Yeah? Okay. Next Maimon now. You have the copies. I sent it to you. Pashas Kadosh. Let's begin. It's to my modem that Shabbos. We're doing the first. You have it on the page, paper in front of you. Yeah. I need to watch because I left my watch at home. I hope. See it. Okay, let's see here. Shabbos Pashas Kadosh Vav Eir. The first Maimon of Shachafei. So the mitzvah of Oral Pashas Kadoshim, Ubashono HaChamishis. So the Torah says the first 3 years that the fruit from the tree is planted. For the first 3 years, any fruit you may not eat. The 4th year is called Netar Avoy, which means the produce of the 4th year, and this is to be taken and eaten like Ma'aser Sheni in Yerushalayim, or redeemed for money, and then food bought and eaten in Yerushalayim. So Machlekas Poskim, whether first of all, everybody holds that it applies in Chutz La'aretz also. The shaila is whether Netar Avoy applies in Chutz La'aretz or not, whether we're allowed to eat from the 4th year, or we have to redeem it and then discard the coin or benefit from it. The pale, we can assume, if you don't know any fruit that you buy and have a suffix, you can assume that it's already after 3 years in Chutz La'aretz. At any rate, so then the pasuk says after the 4th year, Netar Avoy, Ubashono HaChamishis, the 5th year, the pasuk goes on to say, Toichles Piriyov, you should eat its fruit. L'haisif lachem to also, and he's saying by observing all of this, this will add into your yield, into your produce, by observing the laws of Orla. So that's the culminating pasuk and effect of observing the mitzvah of Orla. This is the reward that for 3 years, Orla means blocked, that the fruit is blocked from eating. And the 4th year, the pasuk says here, call purity of kodesh, all its fruit will be holy, hilulim Hashem, as an expression of thanks to Hashem. It has to be eaten within the walls of Yerushalayim and so on. And then comes Ubashono HaChamishis. Clearly, just from reading, The psukim, shekavona v'atachlis the mitzvahs elu, the kavona and the purpose of these mitzvahs, the 3 years, the 4th year, is lohaisiv es tvuosai. Heisafa satvua b'shana hamishis, the increase in the yield, in the produce, in the 5th year and going forward. Mizeh movements understood b'pnimis ein yonim. Oh, Schenken apshat. See the kotesiches. Chelik zayin. Yeah, pnimis there. So b'pnimis ein yonim. The Rabbi Moishe, what it says, but the pshat is that is all leads to Ubashono Hachmishis. He says, Mashenkin in pshat, it's not that way. But we'll have to see exactly what it is. But the pnimis ein yonim shapes the Ubashono Hachmishis yesh b'am iloi. So the pnimis ein yonim, we can see that the 5th year there's a mila loyd not just over the first 3 years of the tree's life where they are forbidden that they are law. Shehem, that they are big chiddush of the Alter Rebbe. Kol advarim asurim shechayusim. No, it's not a chiddush, not this part. Kol advarim asurim shechayusim mishum kedushat meis lagamri. Anything that's forbidden because it gets its nourishment from the 3 impure clippers, she'ein lehem aliyah l'olam, which don't have an aliyah ever. They have to be rejected. I'm referring to the chiddush. He says even the Rabbanan, even the Surim the Rabbanan get their chayis and give them klippus hatamei. It's a big chiddush because the shaila is if the Rabbanan make an isra, it's a gavra chefze. You can't eat it, but the thing is permissible. Or the Rabbanan have a koyach to make the thing itself permissible. In Pashtus, you would say they don't. But the Alter Rebbe's chiddush is yes, that's a koyach of Teresh Shebal Peh, the Rabbanan, that they can make even the chefze itself, also its chayis, is plugged into a different place and you can't touch it. It's behemshach to this, it's in Perik Lamed Zayin in Tanya. But he says, see, the Kotetayrim, how to 8, that the first years, 3 years, why 3 years? With its connected, the Gimel Klippers Atameis, the 3 impure clippers. This is described in the Ivos Yecheskel. Anan, he sees a cloud, a stormy cloud, and a fire. That's the 3 Gimel clippers. That's the source of it. 7, out of 7, he said that we don't eat for the first 3 years. Gimel klippers atmeis legamri, and lahoyer the Mepharshim Rabban brings. What's the reason for this mitzvah? Because kapeir betchilas and tiyas hailones rav haleichus devek moed mazik laguf. There's a lot of moisture, and it's bad for the body. That's the reason. So because it's bad for the body, but Gashmi is why? Because it's Baruchni it's getting its chayis and giving klippus hatameis. Okay. So what it comes out here, so it's not only the 5th year is not only, it's not like the first 3 years which are bad for you. But Gashmis and Baruchnis and Afila Gabia pays the Shana Revius, it has a mile even over the 4th year. Being, even though that not just are they permissible the 4th year, the Yosim Klipas Noigash Efshela Loisa, now the 4th year, that's the higher level of clip which can be elevated. Klipas Noiga, which means there's a glimmer of good there which can be accessed and extracted and revealed. Ali Miseidim is that the 4th year is even more than that. Kurdish Elulim Lavaya. It's holy and it's used an expression of thanksgiving to Hashem, eating Yerushalayim. Yet, we're saying here, Ubashono Hachmishis is even higher. But Glal Mailis HaPeris, the Ubashono Hachmishis, because of the virtue of the 5th year, in Itachlis HaMitzvah, the Ubashono Revius, so what's the purpose of the 4th year? It's a stepping stone. With crazy as it is, Kurdish Elulim Lavaya, tremendous. Eating Yerushalayim. It's only Achona to Mizbaetes, it expresses itself, Bekach, the culmination, Ubashono ''Hachmishis," you'll eat it and you'll have a great harvest. That's what comes out. Yeah, clear? The Alter explains. So he quoted before in order 8 from the Paradis. The Alter Rebbe says that the first 3 years corresponds to what connected Gimel Emes Biyah. Now that's not a contradiction to the Paradis because Shemehem Yechel Elis Yinika the Gimel Dibasat Meis and Emes Biyah there's already Ra to some degree, and that's where there can be Yinika to actual Klippa. So it accords to what the Paradis says, which he actually brings the Alter Rebbe in the Torah. But what's the 4th year? Shana Revi is connected to Mal Atzilus. So the 4th year is Atzilus, the Dalvinus, and behind connected Dalvin and Shem Havai. The 4 worlds are connected, the 4 letters of Shem Havai. And the Shem Yud of Shem Havai is connected Elam Atzilus, which corresponds to the letter Yud of Shem Havai. As we all know, right? Yud is Chachma. What dominates Atzilus is Chachma. Hey is Bina. What dominates Bina is Hey. What dominates Bria is Sfiras Abina. Vav are the 6 midas. What dominates Yitzir are the midas, and the final Hey is Malchus. What dominates Malchus is midas Malchus. Right. So Yud Kei Vav Kei spans the 4 elements. But what's the Shana Chamishis? Where you're going to have an increase in your yield in your crop. That's additional. Lahaisif, what's Taisvis? Over and above Ishtamshalus. Hanimshech mikoitze shel Yud. That's the stroke of the Yud. Shulamayla gama Yud high, even in Chachma, Keser, and so on. Even higher than basic Ishtamshalus. That's Shana Chamishis. Like he says now, that the 50 is the level of Keser. So what's the Shailis leading to? All this leads to our question. And how is it possible? The 4th year, the 4th year can eat them on Yerushalayim, and they're holy, and they're an expression of thanksgiving to Hashem. But the 5th year, it's a higher level. We're saying it's Keser, it's higher than Atzilus. The high even in Shana the 4th year, they're not holy. Can be eaten anywhere, and even in a state of impurity. How could that be? And that's can I get Keser? That's the highest level. Yeah, classic shine. You've behektem. Excuse me. But we look at the Torah, but first, by understanding, by prefacing, it says, look at the Torah, Bagdom as a preface. The beer in Gimel Madregish to explain the 4 levels of the Peiros. Orla, and then the 4th year, and then the 5th year. So he brings the Bebi Mashakosov. He explains in explaining the Pasuk. In Tehillim, right, which we say in the Volatzin, Va'ata Kodesh, and you, Holy One, Yosef Tehillis Yisrael, dwell upon the praises of Israel, of Eden. Explains the Alter Rebbe, what does this mean? You, Holy One, dweller upon the, not upon, it is dweller of Tehillis as a result of the praise of Israel. Pashat Pshat. I don't know, Pashat Pshat, no, the Alter Rebbe's Pshat. Look up the Farshim there. It's just this, you, Holy One, Yosef. Tilis Yisrael means you are the object of the praise of Israel. And Yosef and Pashat Pshat. No, look it up. I can actually look it up right now. Put it out of the misery. Where's the pasuk in Yeshaya? And Tehillim. Sorry, like the Farshim over there. Okay, Tehillim. What Tehillim is it, friends? Yeah, Chol Beis 22. To Pasha the Pshat. With Rashi. What pasuk is it here? Here's the Pasha the Pshat. The word Yoshev was, Rashi says, Yoshev, you wait. The Shmoya to hear Israel, to hear the praise of Eden. That's Pshat Yoshev, Pasha the Pshat. The Alter Rebbe explains the Alter Rebbe in the Ein Sof Baruch Hu, the Eibishter, the infinite one, blessed be Ram, and Misnas Adin Ketz, is infinitely beyond the Gedri Savas Kol Oilamus, from not just the worlds, from creating all the worlds. You're beyond creator. You're beyond, infinitely beyond the role of creator. Shu Baruch Hu Ba'atzmei Kodesh, he is holy and separated, and so on. And Savas Kol Oilamus, so creation, that doesn't express your truth. You're way beyond that. It's a mere glimmer reflection of you, like a name. His divine attributes through which he creates the world. Chesed was day one, and Gvura day two, and so on. With which he creates all the worlds. Including as expressed in Shem Havai Miloshem Mahave. Havaya means one who brings into existence. So even Shem Havai, it's a name. Only the Eibishter's names. And he is utterly beyond it. And therefore, to cause God to reveal his names, which are descent for him, he's infinitely beyond them. Since he himself is holy, holy means removed completely from this category, for this whole limitation of description of altogether. So in order to summon him to reveal himself through his midas to us in our world, mid-sentence now, he's adding in brackets when he just said that he's beyond. His essence, blessed be he. According to Zohar, can't be alluded to, hinted to in any letter, even the stroke of a letter klal. That's the stroke of the yud. God's not expressed there, he's beyond utterly. If he's beyond a letter and a stroke, he's certainly beyond a name, which is a whole construct. So how do we bring him into to be expressed in finitude in his names and his midas to us in our world? By praising him with his very midas. He'll explain it. We summon them, we draw them. I'll explain right now what this means. These names are insignificant, but when we call him by them, they become everything. When the Yid invokes the names, that touches him. So we're mishabeach mahalel the Eibishter with his midas, so we draw him in his midas. Even though himself is not comprised of any attributes at all, as we say every Friday night. So that's pshat in the pasuk. V'zeu pirish pasuk v'yato kodesh. You are holy. You are exalted. You are beyond created, beyond the midas. Yoshe, but how do you dwell in the world? Tilis Yisrael by Yid calling you this, that summons you to reveal yourself in that way. Sham Shochan Nikar B'Shem Yeshiva, so Pashup Pshat is you await. But now, as always the case, or often the case, the Taich HaPichsidis is more literal. Sit! Yoshev! When God sits, sits means to come down. When you sit, you come down. And you conform to the chair or the whatever that you're sitting on. Like someone who sits, who lowers his stature. He was standing upright and now he comes down. So what causes God to be Yoshev, to dwell, to come down into our world, which means he has to manifest himself through his midas, which has produced our world, through praise of Yid. Through praising, because this revelation. And why? Because the Yid is praising him. So it's like a parent that gets down on the child calls Tati, and you get down on you get down on your hands and knees there on the floor, and you're playing with whatever the child is playing with. It's not your world at all. You would never do it in a million years. And that you're there and they're engaged completely in the deepest way. Why? Because your child called you. This is the child's world, and you're happy to be in the child's world, and you don't want to leave it. So this is Va'ata Kodesh Yeshiv Tilis Yisrael. Okay, today's story. Then comes a very beautiful, famous story of the Baal Shem Tov, which is it tells a story. I think the Gimel h'tשכ could be from this Farbrengen. It's a classic, wonderful story. So that will leave for should do that. That should be our story. No, that's the story in the Bible.